And welcome to round 2 of FVGP Season 6. We are here at Monza for a sprint weekend, the only sprint weekend of the season, if I'm not mistaken. 18 minutes of qualifying into a 5-lap sprint into a 35% race. I will be your commentator tonight. It has been a couple of seasons since I was last here. Last mainly did things in Season 3. Looking like a pretty cloudy day as we see a little bit of activity down at Red Bull, a little bit more. I think that was down at McLaren. A couple of drivers starting to head out on track now. Leslie, one of them in the Williams, will be the first one out on track. Quite a lot of activity already. No reports of rain coming in the chat. So, seems like it'll be a dry session, at least as far as we've been told. Someone has gone ahead there. I can't get aboard the car. That's a Red Bull. Let's try and work out who that is. That is Apex taking the lead of the field. Should be taking us through for the first lap of the day. A lot of cars together on track here as the Alfa Romeo goes past. 2 Alfa Romeos go past. That'll be Rose and Dorado. And Aston goes through as well. Leslie letting a lot of drivers go past, actually. Here will be Amber. Unsure who the Ferrari is. That will be Alexi. A lot of cars together on track at the moment, though. Apex pushing on to try and get ahead and set the first lap of the night. 209 into Ascari. Of course, should be a little bit quicker with the RS turned on. Okay, what times do we think we're going to see here tonight? I have no idea for lap time, no idea who is going to be around the midfield of this pack. But hopefully we are in for a very good race with a full grid here as Apex comes through Ascari to start the first lap of the night. We will stay on board, or at least stay following for the time being. Unku comes out the pit lane in the background. Turn 1 misses the first Apex, gets a little bit scruffy through turn 2, though gets out nicely. D numbers, 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Alexi. Yellow flags are flying, there's a Haas in trouble there, unsure who that is. That's PG letting some cars go past. Apex through the second chicane, dips it into the gravel a little bit on exit, but keeps it tidy. Purple sector 1 is to be expected. D numbers, 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Alexi. What is going on over there at Mercedes? The front wing is missing. What is happening with D numbers? 10 places of penalties already. Apex run towards Ascari, gets up to 216 miles an hour. Purple through sector 1 takes a nice bit of curb on the entry, nice bit of curb on the exit. Not much further left to complete the lap now, but we'll have to get Ascari right to post a nice time. We'll have to get a little bit of an investigation going on what's been happening with D numbers. There's a slashed button in the third sector, but it's through Ascari now for Apex. Run to the line to post a 20.4. The Rose will be the next car to the line for Alfa Romeo will come through to post a 19.7 for provisional pole. Dorado comes through 21.7. Amber, Apex's teammate, comes through with a 19.3 to go purple, 4 tenths ahead of Rose. Unku in the background comes through to start the lap. The Haas also does. That would be PG, I think. Yep. AlphaTauri will be next to the line of, I assume that's, no, Vetlamp and Leslie, I think, racing. Harles retires through Ascari. We will follow Vetlamp through there and try and find what's happened to that. Williams has just dropped it on the exit and spun it quite a long way around. Quast goes P6 with a 21.1, Alexi P4 with a 20.0. Very nearly breaking into 19s as Pixels in the Aston 22.9 in 8th falls to 9th. As Broughton jumps up to second. 19.4. Alfie also does in the AlphaTauri with a 19.4. Just half a tenth separate those two. Leslie, 9th with a 22.8. Has been in contact with D numbers. Could have picked up some damage at some point in those interactions. Bring back up chat. Mulder, 24.2 on the wets. That's a good point. Let's take a look at tyre compounds. Harles and Mulder both on the wet, so that explains why Mulder went out so early in this session. An uncharacteristic mistake from the Williams driver, at least from what I've seen. Well, when I've been racing on track. Unku goes 10th with a 21.4, PG to 6th in the Haas with a 20.2. A lot of drivers very close to breaking into the 19s, only 4 able to do it so far. Borna Jordi should be the next car to line with a lot of yellow flags dotted about the circuit. There's a Ferrari off at Ascari. That will be Alexi who's spun it. Will get it going, nearly gets beached on the curb. Will let the Mercedes come through. Jumping back down to Borna Jordi in the McLaren. It'll be 209 miles an hour into the second chicane. Into Ascari. No, not... Yeah, into Ascari. That's where we are. A little bit of a messy run through. Keeps it out of the wall, though. That's better than we can say for some drivers so far this session. Run to the line now for the McLaren. Doesn't quite hold it tight. Will post a 27.6, so not the greatest lap from the McLaren driver. Would not be surprised to see them go for a second run. There's a slow Alpine of Quast, lets his teammate go through. So, 5 drivers yet to post a time. D Numbers will be one of those drivers, but with 10 places of grid penalties already, it's looking unlikely to be a great starting position for the Mercedes driver. Could be safer at this point to start at the back instead of risk being in the mid-pack. Looks like a pretty tidy run through Ascari. Yellow flags in Sector 2 for a slow Alpine. Chungus also comes through Ascari. Little bit loose there from the Mercedes. That looked like a little bit of sun starting to show through now. Could see the track get a little bit warm at the end of the session. D Numbers goes 5th with the 19.8. Red Bull behind of Apex comes through to start a lap. Meanwhile, Chungus goes 7th with a 20.0. McLaren of Harrison will be... No, McLaren of Borna Jordi comes back through to improve to a 20.6. The Alpine behind him was Quast with a 21.1. Unku doing their first lap on the medium tyre. Mulder potentially thinking about a run on the Inters now. Got to use all the available tyre compositors. Apex DNFs through the second chicane. Let's jump on board with Alexi, who should be next on the scene. Let's see what happened there. Looks like Apex has just spun it coming out the corner and hit that wall to the right, I believe is where that Red Bull was situated. Not a great time for Apex so far this session. We'll want to be improving on that. We're going to see a couple of quick drivers away down the order here, I think. Alexi pulls through to let the Alpine and McLaren come by. Slow Aston in the first sector. That'll be Sass. Yet to set a time, as is Harrison and Vetlap. Vetlap, though, currently on a lap. Harrison on an outlap. Gets it a little bit wrong through Ascari. But on board with Vetlamp, your AlphaTauri to set a first lap. Goes purple in Sector 1. Pretty tidy run through the second chicane. We'll have to be wary of the slow Aston ahead as she falls off the track. Almost hits the wall there, was that, for Sass. Wing looks okay, or at the very least is attached. Vetlamp, a little kick of oversteer on the exit of the second Lesmo. Run to Ascari now for the AlphaTauri driver. Gets to 2:16. A little bit quicker than Apex went in the Red Bull, if I'm not mistaken. Much more pointed run through Ascari there, actually. What time will it be? Mulder also out in the lap to improve on the intermediates. Clearly trying to save as many sets of softs for the race as possible. Much tighter run there through Vettel, as we've seen other drivers do, and goes purple with a 19.1. A very impressive performance there from the AlphaTauri. Sass will be next, but on an advanced lap has lost the left side end plate. Unsure why she's weaving here. Rose purple, 19-0 in the Alfa Romeo. Alfie will be next to the line to start a lap. Sass will come through to end hers, though aborts into the pit lane, as is to be expected. Broughton will be coming through next to start a lap. Next car to set a time will be Quast. That looks like a slow run through Ascari will be coming into the pit lane, so it'll be Harrison to set his first time of the night. A much wider line through Ascari than we've seen some drivers take. Both Ferraris behind, one comes into the pit lane, one does not. Harrison with a 21-1 goes 14th. South is the final car still on track to set a time. Unku out on the mediums. Taking a tow from Alexei, though going through the first chicane, maybe giving Alexei the tow here. Can find you a lot of time at Monza where it's all straight lines. Alexei will have to be mindful of the slow McLaren ahead. Alexei gets past her teammate. Did go purple in the first sector, I think that was. So McLaren ahead falls off the road just a little bit. No major dramas though here. 6.5 minutes to go. Your order is currently Rose from Vetlamp, from Amber, from Broughton for your top 2 rows. Very good showing from Mercedes here at the moment with 4th and 6th. Also very good showing from AlphaTauri, 2nd and 5th. Alexei even using the tow from the McLaren. Not sure that's entirely intentional there from Harrison, but Alexei will be more than happy to pick it up regardless. I know what I need lap data. Runs the line now for the Ferrari, and she will improve to a 19.4, the exact same time as JL Broughton in the Mercedes, though Broughton stays ahead by virtue of setting the time first. Mulder on the Inters, 3/10 up, comes through to the line to set a 22.6, only a 10th up in the end, will not improve position. Yellow flags at Parabolica for Pixels. Sass coming through Ascari on her lap. A little bit hesitant through Ascari, gets it on the sausage curbs. Not quite what you want to be doing in these cars. Ground effect makes them very sensitive to those kind of bumps, I find. Sass on and out lap though, so no harm done to her lap. She is the last car that is able to this session that has not yet set a time. A lot of yellow flags flying in that middle sector around the Lesmos. Think it's a slightly slow Haas car. Is that PG? No, that'll be Mulder. Aiming to stay out of the way of the Williams and McLaren, though they seem to want to be holding formation. In fact, I think that's just Mulder being out of fuel, to be honest. Seems to be. Pixels, though, looking to improve. Will have to be wary of this traffic. Almost goes into the McLaren, gets a little bit blocked there. Has to weave through a lot of traffic. Sass retires through the second Lesmo. Almost drives into the back of the Haas there. Does Pixels almost hitting Mulder. A lot of traffic in that third sector. Not sure Pixels will be too happy with that one. Dodging and weaving his way. Still improves by 2 seconds though to post a 20.9 and move into 14th. Jack, your prediction of Sass spinning her Aston is now correct. Pixels getting very out of shape there, cutting the first chicane. Leslie starting a lap. Pretty tidy run through the first chicane, or at least from what we caught of it. Currently, the last car that has set a time will be looking to improve on that. Already 2.5 tenths up. That will put him ahead of Mulder. Definitely struggling with this track, though. I think he usually drives on wheel, but is back on pad for this event, or some combination of those factors. Yellow's through Ascari as Leslie runs wide through the second Lesmo. That yellow would have been for Pixels having a moment through Ascari. Leslie still a second up though. Though won't get ahead of Unko on this run. Purple to the second sector though. Oh, promising pace as he gets it very wrong on the exit for Skari. Almost spinning it back across into the wall. Keeps it pointing the right way though, but not a good time for that. Williams will have time to come in and get a fresh set of softs if he wants to. And looking at that, I'd say that is the plan. It is not. Leslie will stay out to complete the lap. Will post a 21.4. Jumps ahead of Mulder, but not Pixels. Ooh, all kinds of scruffy through there. We'll have to stand in the way of the McLaren that is coming of Borna Jordi. Just about keeps out the way. We'll have to watch for Harrison though. Harrison with a bit of a lock up on the rears there. Over-rotates a little bit into the corner. Gets away well though. A lot of the top 8 still in the pit lane. They're going to have to get out soon, else they will run out of time. Harrison improves by 3/10. Provisionally will put him ahead of Dorado for 13th. Yellow flags all through the second and third sectors. AlphaTauri Vetlamp slows down to let the Williams, I think that must be Leslie, go through. It was. Harrison keeps the car pointed through Ascari's 8.5 tenths up. We'll have to watch for the weaving Vetlamp. I'm trying to get times on. A lot of drivers cutting it very fine with the slipstream down this back straight. Trying to maximise all the time as possible before entering Parabolica. Yellow flags for a slow Williams who comes into the pit lane. Leslie though unlikely to have enough time to get back in and back out. Harrison improves to P9, 3 milliseconds behind Chungus with a 20.095. Vetlamp starts a lap in the AlphaTauri. Amber and Broughton both on that laps, as is Alfie and Chungus. D-Numbers and Alexi not leaving themselves enough time to get out and complete the lap. I'd say that is them sidelined for the day, as is our provisional pole sitter, Mr. M. Rose. Yellows in Sector 1 as Unku retires from the session. Unsure how that one has happened. Meanwhile, PG has spun the second chain. We'll have to get out of the way of the AlphaTauri that is coming, getting on board with Chungus. There's Unku in the middle of the track, the front right wheel missing. Maybe dropping out the pit lane on cold tyres. That is the best story I can come up with for that one. Right in the middle of the track, though, very lucky that Chungus was able to avoid that. Harrison will be the next car to the line, is even faster than his previous time this lap, but is invalid. Behind him will be Vetlamp, who comes into Ascari. Alfie will be finishing an outlap. He's out of time, gets the line though. Rose, Alexi, Alfie and D-Numbers have all got their times finalised in the top 10. Mulder will also not improve off those into it. There's a spun McLaren ahead. Vetlamp using all of the track and more to maximise the time. Posts a 19.3, 1/10 slower than their best time. Broughton is off the road, as is Borna Jordi is out of the session. Unsure if that was retirement on track, though it seems to be. Broughton will not be improving this session. We'll have to get out the way for Pixels as he comes through. Amber, Purple in the middle sector will be looking to try and take pole off Mr. M. Rose. Broughton unable to. Amber will be the final shot of displacing that car. Chungus goes 7th with a 19.5. What can Amber do as she comes into Ascari, into Parabolic Reef, and his Pixel spins through Ascari? Run to the line for the Red Bull. It's going to be close. It's going to be a 19.1, improved by 2/10, but still it's a 1/10 and a quarter off of pole. Broughton unable to improve, and PG aborting the lap coming into pit lane. A very intense qualifying session here in Monza. A lot of drivers getting it wrong. Only 4 taking off wheels though, actually. Quite a good session, if I do say so myself. Your top 3 rows are Rose next to Amber, Vetlamp next to Broughton, and Alexi next to Alfie. AlphaTauri, the only team to get 2 cars on the front 3 rows. A very good showing from the team there. So, It's Mr. M. Rose who takes pole for Alfa Romeo with a 19.0. Amber will be alongside, just 78 milliseconds back for Red Bull, followed by Vetlamp, Broughton, Alexi, Alfie, Chungus, Harrison, PG, Apex, Quast, Bonajoli, Dorado, Pixels. Then I believe it will be Unku, Leslie, then D number slots in ahead of Mulder, Sass, and... But welcome to the grid. It's 5 lights. There will be no formation lap. Quite a long hold as we get underway here in Monza. Amber gets away better than Rose, so someone bogs down a lot there. That's Alexi. There's all kinds of 3, 4, 5 right behind Amber, immediately on the offensive into turn 1. Yellow flags already as someone's not moved. Leslie. Rose gets barged off, as does the Ferrari. Rose rejoins in the lead, though Amber will sneak past. Leslie gets going. Sass, 2-second time penalty for a collision with her teammate. It's gone wrong at Aston already. This is going to get all kinds of dicey here. Into the second chicane. Amber stays ahead. They hold thing fire, and they don't. Apex, with an audacious move behind, causes carnage. There's a hearth off in the background. It's PG. Mulder already up 9 places. Give me tyres. Everyone on the softs aside from Vetlamp, who is on the mediums. Amber from Rose, from Broughton, from Chungus. Already some drivers making their way forwards. Hales are making big gains, as are Mulder and D numbers. A lot of the quick drivers making gains here already. Apex, though, could have damage from that earlier contact. Was very messy into the second chicane. That front wing looks okay, though. But there will be a fight for the lead between Rose and Amber. Rose is on the back of Amber. Broughton already looking to make a move as well. Chungus will be defending from Alfie. Broughton makes the move on Rose. Rose makes the move on Amber. It's 3 wide already on lap 2. Amber purple, 24.0. Broughton does them both with the lower downforce. Amber, though, keeps the nose in. Oh, Alpine gets it very wrong. It's a repeat of what we saw in Season 1. Broughton, 2-second time penalty. We saw a championship be decided like that as Chungus gets 2-second time penalty as well. Got the braking very wrong. Unsure if there was more contact with Chungus that caused that, but Chungus throws it left into the wall. An intentional retirement. Can't bring out a safety car, though. Broughton makes the move on Amber into turn 2. Amber defends well, though. Not the greatest thing to see from Chungus there. Suspect that will be investigated. That was a pretty hard turn left. Could have been a safety car if that was in the main race. Bonajoli also retires, gets it wrong through the second Lesmo. No, retires on track, actually. A lot of drivers dropping out already, surprisingly early. Alfie on Rose. Rose just slipping back a little bit in this race as Mulder looks to take Harrison round the outside into the Parabolica. Harrison runs wide. Mulder will easily get through. Mulder will be looking to get up to the front of this grid. Amber, 21.6. Pulls the gap to Broughton, who has a 2-second time penalty. Rose breaks late. Rose with a monumental lunge and makes contact there with Broughton. Apex gets a little bit of poor traction through that first chicane. Will be unable to capitalise on the weakened Mercedes. Amber, though, just running off into the sunset. It's a very good showing from Red Bull here in this sprint race. AlphaTauri in a few more woes. Vetlamp falling down the field quite a lot. Meanwhile, Alfie gets a better run on Apex on the exit of the second chicane. We'll go for it into the first lesson. We'll have some space on the outside. Just about leaves enough. Have to do it again through the second lesson, but they make contact. No harm, no foul, though. Now Mulder is here. We'll try and do them both towards the sky. Apex will have the DRS. This could get messy. Alfie backs off. Mulder also lets Apex take the track position, maybe sizing up for a run of the Parabolica with DRS into turn 1. Already using a lot of DRS. Apex are in a much worse situation. Alfie looks to sneak around the outside of Mulder, won't get it done though. Mulder just breaks that little bit later, trying to put as much pressure on Apex as possible. Hales is here as well. Amber, 20.4. No improvement from anyone in the field as Mulder looks to the inside on Apex. Oh, massive move there from Alfie to try and get by. Was looking to shake Mulder, will take Apex, so Apex will come back on the outside though, gets pushed by Hales. Will have to miss the corner Apex also missing the corner. Mulder into 4th. Alexi 2-second time penalty for corner cutting. Something has gone very wrong there at turn 1 for the Ferrari. Unku will sneak past. Alexi up to 4 seconds of penalties. PG will retire. Lots of carnage are carrying down at turn 1. There's a slow Ferrari. Not sure where PG is, but you can see that car there. I'm not sure what's happened. There's a lot of people falling out of this race already, though. Back at the front, Rose closing in on Amber. Can't see the Alfa Romeo DRS level, but seems might be a little bit higher. Is definitely using that DRS though to make the most of it. Broughton trying to stay 2 seconds ahead of Mulder, but Mulder will be on a charge. Hales will be trying to follow. Hales though lets Harrison go through. Maybe illegal overtakes. Maybe trying to right some wrongs as Alfie has a look on Apex. Apex wide out of Ascari. Alfie will be here. Alfie will have a look. We'll have to do it around the outside of Ascari. There's a slow Hales letting a lot of drivers go past. Maybe trying to make reparations for the carnage caused as Apex makes contact with Alfie. Seems like a lot of understeer. Someone is round at the Ascari chicane. That is Quast up at the front. Amber and Rose. Broughton having a look on Amber. Makes contact. Rose gets past. Apex also getting past Alfie. Hales will be here to have a look. Apex wide. This could give Hales a good run on the Red Bull. Maybe a good run on the AlphaTauri as well. They're going to be tripping over each other. This could be dicey. This is going to be 3 wide, a little bit of contact, but they keep it clean. This is going to get messy though. Hales into the back of Alfie. Loses a bit of an end plate, forces Apex off. Right to end plate on that Williams missing. Was that contact with Apex? Hales getting it all kinds of wrong here through the Lesmos. Will be slower. Apex, though, maybe in a bit of damage as well himself. That car does not look particularly happy. Up at the front, still Rose from Amber from Broughton. These three are going to be going at it. It's the last lap, though, and I don't think much is going to change. Mulder will be trying to take track position off of Broughton, but unless Amber can do anything here, it's Rose's sprint win. Last corner now through Parabolica. Rose leads from Amber from Broughton. It'll be Rose to the line. It'll be Rose who wins the Season 6 sprint race, followed by Amber, followed by Broughton on track, though will be jumped by Mulder on penalties. Harrison will be next, followed by Alfie. Hales will be following, followed by Apex. Dorado will be next, but has a 2-second penalty. Maybe jumped by Unku, is jumped by Unku. Ventlamp will be next, ahead of Pixels. Leslie will be next, fighting with Sass to the line. Leslie without a wing will have slightly better straight line speed, though, burning off the rest of the RS. Stays ahead of Sass. Alexi will be next with a 4-second penalty, but with a D Numbers behind, it's D Numbers going to get the jump on penalties. A chaotic sprint race as ever here in Monza. Time and time again we've seen carnage. Time and time again we've seen races be decided by carnage at turn 1. Mulder takes driver of the day. Thoroughly deserved, in my opinion, to come from pretty much the back all the way up to the podium like that. Is a stellar performance in just 5 laps. It's Rose on top of the podium, joined by Amber to his left and Mulder to his right. So, it's Rose who wins the sprint here. Will be lining up first for the main event. Amber finishes second with a 20.4 to take best lap. Mulder will be third, followed by Broughton, Harrison, Alfie, Hales, Apex, Unku, and Dorado to round out your top 10, with 11th through 20th going to Vetlamp, Pixels, Leslie, Sass, D Numbers, Alexi, and Quast to be your last finisher, with PG, Border Jolly, and Chungus all crashing out earlier in the race. But that looks like it. 5 lights here in Monza, and we are away for the second round of FVGP Season 6. Mulder pulls off to one side to drop to the back. Amber is ghosted, will be jumped by Broughton, gets her car control back there, 3 wide behind. It's Broughton versus Rose lead. Broughton keeps the wheels in for turn 2. A lot of cars on the medium tyre here. Mulder dropping to the back. Will try and sive his way back through. Broughton, though, were meaty on the offensive. Top 3 all on mediums. Hales, Amber on soft. Apex, Alfie, Unku on mediums. Broughton gets clear. A very big dive there from Amber tips. I think that was Harrison into a spin. It's chaos already, though. We stay green. Amber retires and leaves the session. A pretty poor start on her end. Rose will be looking to try and reclaim the lead of this race from Broughton. The Apex Miata in 4th in his 200th FV race. Battle for the top 2 will rage on as Leslie gets past Sass for 13th into Ascari. Will Sass and Unku make contact? Unku gets forced off. Meanwhile, back at the front, Hales on the back of Rose using that tyre advantage early. We'll have to get past before those soft tyres die off. Both drivers are nearly dipping below the yellow line. Broughton 25-1 will be passed by Hales and Rose, who also then gets past Rose. Hales defending the inside. Rose will be going to try and get underneath. Broughton falling to 3rd, will not want to fall any further. Might get a slightly better run off the corner than Rose. Though sticking with Hales is going to be a hard task, but they are doing it. Will Rose look to the inside on Hales? He will not. They stay forward. Sass takes time out of corner cutting. Did numbers in the pit after losing a wing early. Hales holds the lead. There's more yellow flags. It's chaos down the second chicane. Borna-Jolly, was that Mulder involved as well? Or no, that was PG involved. Mulder might have been as well, though. Very slow Leslie on the inside. They're going to have to watch out for that as people come through. Up ahead, Harrison on the back of Pixels. Aston running in the points. Harrison will be looking to the outside into Ascari if he can pull alongside. Gets a lovely move around the outside of Pixels. Good move. Unku will be looking to try and make up time after the incident with Sass. Leslie wide loses the rear a little bit. Up, looking forwards. Mulder gets past Pixels around the outside. Apex Purple 21-4. Meanwhile, up at the top, Rose closes on Hales. Rose looks to the outside. Hales defending the inside. Will try and take the switch back. Borna-Jolly 5 seconds speeding in the pit lane. Pixels also boxing potentially with damage. This is very quickly becoming a 4-way fight for the lead. AlphaTauri are on 5th and 6th behind. Can Rose make a move on Hales? Is going to have to get it done soon. Or maybe biding his time before Hales just burns up those tyres a little bit as Broughton looks on Rose for the first Lesmo. Doesn't get it done. Borna-Jolly and D-Numbers both diverting onto the hard tyre. A little bit of over-rotation there on the curb from Broughton, but keeps it pointing the right way. That's what we like to see. DRS will be keeping these top 4 quite close together. Mulder already up into 7th from 17th. Will have his work cut out though to catch up to this lead group. Managed to do it in 5 laps last time. But seems like a significantly harder undertaking this time as Borna-Jolly goes out through the second chicane. I doubt... Nope, just retires on track. Okie dokie then. So, run down the main straight. It will be Rose on Hales again. Broughton unable to keep up. A convincing move very early on there. We'll leave Rose playing defense though into the second chicane. Meanwhile, Broughton and Apex, wheel to wheel. Apex though pulls back, not wanting to cause an incident. We've seen a lot of incidents into that second chicane tonight. Maybe the wiser call, but the top 2 will be continuing to battle it out as Mulder will be closing also. What happened to Alfie? Alfie's had to come in for a wing by the looks of those tyres. Explains the loss of the AlphaTauri 5-6. Rose stays ahead. Apex clears Broughton on the run into Ascari. very close together, but even closer is the fight for the lead. It's mediums versus softs, Williams versus Alfa Romeo, Hales against Rose. Hales, a lovely move up the inside the parabolica there. Unsure who will have DRS. It might be Rose. It is Rose. Rose managed to hang on to it. Rose back around the outside. Oh, Hales. Broughton doing the same to Apex, blocked inside. Almost contact there. Apex making the absolute most of the breaks. Meanwhile, Leslie and Unku fighting for 8th down this main straight. PG is coming to make it 3 wide. PG gets them both, maybe. Leslie tries to hang on the outside. It's going to struggle, though. Will leave him vulnerable to Unku. Meanwhile, for 3rd, it's Apex and Broughton again on the back of each other. Broughton with a little bit of a wiggle through there. Will keep Apex close. Will keep Apex in DRS. We'll be looking for the outside of Ascari. Broughton lets it go. Maybe thinking about DRS down that front stretch. Battle for the lead, closing up again. Has either driver got much to use? As Harrison retires on track, that looks like. It is, as Leslie all kinds of twitchy through Ascari. Now, Hales and Rose. Hales up the inside towards turn 1. A convincing move. Broughton versus Apex. They'll be side by side. Apex going for it on the brakes. Practicing that move last time. Gets it executed this time. PG on the back of Leslie. We're going to see more moves down this front stretch. But will we see a move into the second chicane between Harles and Rose? Hales on the outside. Rose up the inside. Takes it back off Joseph. Maybe those soft tyres starting to let go a little bit already. Sass, 3-second time penalty. Running in 11th. Doesn't look like that's going to improve anytime soon. Gets displaced by Alfie for 11. Gets displaced by Alfie as she falls to 12th. Apex just losing DRS and Harles will leave him vulnerable to Broughton. No, just about has it still actually. But Hales and Rose. This is a fight that's not going to end quickly, but in theory, Rose has the upper hand for later on in the race. Hales will look to the inside. Takes the move, but loses DRS doing it. In the background, you can see it's Broughton and Apex. Broughton sides past using DRS, Rose sides past Hales using DRS. Seems to be some repeating stories as Sass drops it through the Ascari chicane. Safety car is deployed. Not the worst time for Leader Sass, just dropping into that right side wall like we saw Mulder do in qualifying. Keeps the car pointing the right way though. PG and Leslie will be in, as will Unku. Car top 6, leaving it the extra lap to take those fresher tyres. This could play into Joseph's hands though, with those mediums to go to the end. Softs are gonna struggle a little bit. They should make it, but they're not gonna be happy doing it, I would think. Unku onto the hards, Alfie onto the hards. Alfie onto the mediums, I'd say that's the sensible choice. Hards are a little bit overcompensating, I would say. Though obviously depends on your starting tyre. Pixels will be in for a new front wing and fresh mediums. This will be a chance for D Numbers to get back into the race as well. I'd expect to see him in for fresh mediums. Definitely comes into the pit lane. I wouldn't risk the softs if I were him. I would just take those fresh softs. But what will the leaders be getting up to? I'd expect to see all 4 of these drivers come in. Though we've seen carnage on these safety car restarts, we could see someone stay out. All 4 will come in. Hales. Did the top 4 just get speeding penalties? I think the entire top 4 just got speeding penalties. Oh ho ho ho. Apex will be in for softs, D numbers was in for fresh mediums. It's softs for Rose, it's mediums for Hales, mediums for Vetlamp. Brought onto the hards. Now, how many of these drivers have picked up penalties? The top 4, all taking 5-second penalties at once, evens the playing field, but they're going to have to keep a 5-second penalty to Vetlamp. And this works very, very nicely for the heart of RX Mulder X28 here. I don't think Mulder could have had a better set of circumstances come his way. Clear a car on the hards and doesn't even have to make any more overtakes after that. Just stay within 5 seconds of Hales and you have the win. Leslie speeds into pit lane in the Williams. Will take a 5-second penalty for it. I would expect to be seeing that car come onto the medium tyres. He is indeed. Now, will any of the top 5 box to clear these penalties, do we think? It could be particularly advantageous for Rose, Apex and Broughton to get on those fresh mediums as well. How are people going to play this? Obviously, taking that 5-second will drop you to the back. Maybe they'll be hoping for a second safety car to come out. We have seen safety cars cause safety cars here before. If you think all the way back to FVGP Season 1 here, we saw D Numbers and Harris and them fighting for a title. Some late safety cars massively changing the course of that race. D Numbers being involved in one of them, Harrison getting caught up in the final restart carnage, eventually picking up penalties that would cost him the championship. Now, will any of the top 4 box clear these penalties? All 4 of them taking 5-second penalties is not a great showing from a lot of our championship contenders. Hales looks like he will be. Rose will say Apex will come in. Broughton will come in. Couple of drivers coming in. Mulder coming in with them. Very interesting decision. I'd expect to see all these drivers taking fresh mediums. Though, was that softs for Apex? It was. Hales also on the soft. Interesting strategy decisions here. Mulder, though, maybe making the right call, but loses a lot of track positions by taking tyres twice. D Numbers still trying to catch up with the field. Will be struggling to make it work a little bit. But we now have a little bit of a scrambled order, just like we did in that sprint race. It's Rose from Broughton, from Vetlamp, from PG, Unku, Dorado, Alfie, Leslie, Pixels, Mulder, Hales, Apex, and D Numbers. Should just about catch up with the pack. I'd expect to be in this lap or next. A good chance for AlphaTauri to recover that good showing that they started with early on. Car on the podium at the moment, one hand on that double podium. Sedcar will be in this lap. D Numbers will be racing to catch up just like he was in S1. Should catch up with the field though, this time led by Rose. Here we go then, 13 still left in the race. We've lost 4 already. What are we thinking then? Well, there will be 10 laps to fight this out. I think we're in for a lot of carnage and a lot of good racing as Rose commits and goes already. We'll catch a lot of the drivers further back napping. There are already some very big gaps in this grid, especially between Leslie and Alfie, a second already. Broughton, they're already looking to take the lead on hards. Vetlamp will come in as well. Rose getting absolutely swamped. Broughton will stick it round the outside. Ooh, looks like they all got through behind, but they're stacking up a lot behind Leslie there. Rose holds on to the lead. Broughton will be under threat from Vetlamp. Can the AlphaTauri take second? We'll hold station for now as Mulder makes places. Be the 2 Williams cars side by side behind. They make contact. Leslie pushes Harles off into the gravel, keeps it going though. Pixel slow up front. Rose pulling a major gap on Broughton. Yellow's behind. Apex in trouble in his 200th FV race. Now, Vetlamp and Broughton. Rose running off to the sunset. Vetlamp will need to stay within 5 seconds of Rose to take the win tonight. Tenth and a quarter separate the cars. Harles gets past D numbers, using that tyre advantage to try and make back places very wide though. Rose 21-4 to go purple. It's Vet versus Broughton down the front stretch. PG will be here as well. Not quite going to be able to make it 3 wide as Vetlamp eases ahead on the braking contact with Broughton though. He spins! Keeps it pointing the right way though. Very well recovered there from those two, keeping each other straight. Now it'll be a drag race through Curve de Grande. Who's going to come out on top here? Vetlamp eases ahead though. Broughton will be looking. Broughton tucks in behind. So it's Vetlamp that clears Broughton. Will have to stay within 5 seconds of Rose, but Rose already pulling a major gap. Mulder gets past Unku on the run to Ascari. Mulder will be trying to charge back through and win this race from the very back. Meanwhile, Unku and Hales behind. Unku just keeps ahead. Hales already out of battery. Has been through the walls a little bit tonight. DRS is now enabled. Nothing that will help Vetlamp though take this win. Hales purple 21-2. Meanwhile, PG and Broughton for third. Apologies, we missed that. PG gets past Broughton on track. Now, Alfie in fifth. It's an AlphaTauri 2-5. Could this get any better? It could be a 2-4, especially with Broughton's penalty. Ideal situation for Alfie here as PG and Broughton get together and let that AlphaTauri come through. Alfie though already looking at some lunges from quite far back. Contact between PG and Broughton. Will let Alfie sneak around the outside from absolutely nowhere. We'll try it on the Haas. That was absolutely outstanding from the AlphaTauri driver there. I cannot believe he made that work. I can't believe he found the space. PG though will be coming back on the run to Ascari, but we've seen Alfie is willing to risk life and limb for this podium. It's going to get messy. Broughton will come back through. Broughton gets it wrong. Can Alfie fire through a run? There's all kinds of 5 cars stacked up. Big spin for Mulder. Resets to track in front of the field. That could be a penalty. Hales looked like he picked up some contact there as well, though. They all seem to still have front wings. Alfie back down to 5th, trying to make the AlphaTauri dream of a double podium work. Still in a pretty good standing to do it. We've seen he's willing to take a risk. D Numbers and Dorado fighting. The two former Merc teammates. Broughton gets past PG. Can Alfie use a better on PG? Will try and take the inside through Curve de Grande. They will have the slipstream off Broughton, but PG just able to power through. Closing on Broughton. Might look at the move. Should sit behind. Broughton looks to go defensive. Alfie looks to go offensive. Being very calm and controlled, but pushes PG into the wall. That will be an end plate lost for PG. Very lucky for Ghosting else. That could have been a big crash. Alfie is still holding 5th. Could have a penalty coming for that. That looked pretty cut and dry. Will be looking to make the move on Hales again, though. We'll look to the inside. That was a bumper car-ish hit, but more contact for Alfie as he makes contact with Hales. Hales is spun. Hales spins to the Scari. That should let Mulder come back through. All the while, there's a big fight here between Apex, D Numbers, and Unku. Hales retires on track, has had enough. His full safety car is deployed. Hang on a minute. Hales has taken some pretty severe damage then. Despawns, so we can't see what. But I am surprised at that Williams DNF, given we didn't see it hit the wall. The top few are in. Rose, though, managed to clear the safety car. Should be soft to the end. We're going to see a lot of drivers try and serve penalties. Broughton will be one of those cars. Could be losing a lot of time, though. Was stationary for a long time. Will be released, though. Where can he recover to? Looks like he's going to be hovering around 4th here. It's an AlphaTauri double podium, and with that Rose penalty, with those older soft tyres, we could see something magical happen. Drivers have to be careful to respect the pit outline. 12 drivers left running. Leslie just drifting over it a little bit. Will Rose come in and box? Has the gap to do so if he would like, but will have that 5-second penalty to serve. Rose has got to come in and box. Surely needs to clear that penalty. Needs to get on some fresh soft to have any chance. This has thrown him under a lifeline though. Rose will come in, make sure he's well under the pit lane speed limit. Now it is a race between Vetlamp and Rose. Who can get to the end of that pit lane first? Vetlamp is going to have to push. Rose serving a penalty. Very far down the pit lane. The pit stop starts now. The car is released. It looks like Rose is still going to come out in the lead. Vetlamp may be hampered by Delta. It's going to be close, but Vetlamp just isn't quite going to get there. You can see Rose out the pit lane. Rose hangs on to his race lead as PG comes into the pit lane. Will give his teammate the extra position. AlphaTauri still hanging on to that AlphaTauri 2-3. Though a potential penalty coming for Alfie for that hit with PG. This is gonna get spicy. We should be underway pretty shortly. We'll just be waiting on PG, but we are running out of laps to get this race going. The entire field on softs. It is well and truly a sprint race. One more lap under safety car. We are going to be going at 17, 18, 19. A 3-lap sprint to the end of this race. And we are in for something special and absolute carnage at the same time. Notable mention of FE Pixels being in the points, picking up some much needed points for Aston Martin. Hales was the car leading your Constructors' Championship. Unable to pick up any points now though. Bayliss not here tonight, PG not here tonight. It could very well, the numbers though not picking up enough points to take the lead. Dorado won't be. As it stands, I think it's going to be Broughton who leads this championship. In fact, no, he'd only be on 16. So Hales, despite not finishing this race, may be able to hang on to it as things stand. Much needed points for Ferrari here, much needed points for AlphaTauri. Aston just needs to hold on and could get the points that they need to finally score some points. AlphaTauri, Ferrari and Aston Martin, the 3 teams yet to score this season. AlphaTauri running very well with that double podium. Unku running in 7th, took up good points for Ferrari, and Pixels just on the cusp of doing it. Just needs to hang on against Leslie and PG. Both, though, could make moves. PG especially 3rd in the championship as it stands. Will be looking to move forwards, will be looking to try and take the lead of things. 17 started, 12 remain now. Safety car will be in this time. We are going to have a 3-lap shootout here. Rose, looking to take the win, has pretty much controlled the race all day long. Was fighting Broughton at the start though. Double AlphaTauri podium though that Broughton will have to fight through. Dorado very high up. Apex looking to do well in his 200th FV race. Unco in 7th, a good result. We've seen them podium on F1 before and very strong in the Forza side of things. But will it carry over? Mulder, very, very fast driver, in contention for the main series championship win in Season 6. Couple more rounds, it could have been his. Rose will lead us. But when will Rose go? Sit with us, folks. It's going to be a 3-lap shootout, and it's going to be carnage. Rose going anytime now, goes, doesn't go, leaves it later than he did with his first restart, trying to catch people out, and goes for it. Catches Vetlamp off guard, though they'll still be close. Some larger gaps forming further down the field. It's going to be an absolute mob at the back, but up front, Rose runs away with it nicely, but Vetlamp closing. Vetlamp looking to the left-hand side immediately into turn 1. Unku's got the braking wrong. Cuts turn 1 to avoid an instant contact between Vetlamp and Rose. Broughton gets past Alfie. Apex into 5th. Gets past Dorado, who's struggling. Mulder clears Apex around the outside of Curve de Grande. Meanwhile, for the lead, it's Rose and Vetlamp. Vetlamp unable to pull alongside, unable to stick that nose there. Alfie spins it. Mulder gets past. D Numbers also gets past Apex. Apex having trouble. Once again, it's chaos. It's slow through the first lesson. We're going to have to be careful with pixels. Don't want to cost us valuable points. Someone slows up. Dorado, that's up to let drivers through. PG runs off. D Numbers on the back of Mulder, using all of the RS to make that work. Will lunge up the inside into Ascari. Gets it done nicely. Mulder will be coming back. Mulder will want to win this race. Has the pace to win this race, we think. PG into 9th. Again, D Numbers and Mulder fighting it. Mulder on the inside of D Numbers. Vetlamp closing on the lead of Rose very quickly, burning off everything that AlphaTauri has. Looks to the inside. 2 to go. And it's Vetlamp in the lead for AlphaTauri, trying to recuperate lost points from his teammate's spin. Broughton, though, will be here, looking to try and pick up the scraps. Mulder not far back, 1.3 and closing. 2/10 separate the top 2. Will there be a look? Not close enough. Has to be very close into that second chicane to make it work. Vetlamp and Rose. Can Vetlamp hang on to it? There might be the RS on the last lap. I don't think there will be, but we will see. Mulder closing in. These three are going to need to scrabble, though, if Mulder wants to pick up the win. No penalties to come into things. 18 laps, and it will all come down to next lap here. Pixels hangs on to points in the midfield. Vetlamp is going to have to start playing defensively. Broughton already on the back of Rose. Rose, though, taking the better exit out of Parabolica. DRS will be enabled for this final lap. Mulder closing very slow to these top 3, but won't be there in time. Vetlamp seems to be running away with this, has half a second of gap to Rose. Rose gets it wrong. Broughton will be looking. This is exactly the scenario Vetlamp needs. Rose and Broughton tripping over each other. Mulder having to worry about D Numbers a little bit. Mulder may be running out of pace here at the tail end of this race. 1.5 seconds separate our top 3 into the second chicane. All the drivers trying to push the margins as fine as possible. Vetlamp finding a pretty good way to take that second chicane. Can Rose do anything? We'll have the DRS for the run into Ascari. We'll have a little bit of DRS to use. Vetlamp has less. Rose has a lot more. Can he get close enough, though? Closes to within 3/10. Vetlamp just able to carry a little bit more corner speed. Mulder will be challenging for the podium behind, but the big eyes are at the front. 2/10 separate them. Could we see a last corner move like we saw in Season 1? Rose looks, pushes Vetlamp through the corner. Vetlamp gets both of those. It's going to be Vetlamp to the line to win for AlphaTauri, taking 25 points, hoisting them off the bottom of the table. Rose went purple, but Mulder stole it. It's Vetlamp from Rose, from Broughton, from Mulder, from D Numbers, from Apex, from PG, from Leslie in 8th. Pixels will come home 9th to take Aston Martin points. Dorado will be 10th, Alfie 12th, and Alfie 11th, and Unku 12th. First points of the season for AlphaTauri and Aston Martin. Ferrari unfortunate to miss out at the tail end there after Unku running in 7th for so long. Once again, we have seen some brilliant racing at the tail end of a Monza race here. A late safety car hugely redefining the shape of the race, giving AlphaTauri much needed points. It's Vetlamp on top, followed by Rose and Broughton. A stunning performance at the end of that race there from AlphaTauri to try and nail down some of those points. That is what you want to see. So, it's Vetlamp who after half an hour takes the win here in Monza from 11th on the grid. Rose and Broughton are alongside him on the podium, Mulder in 4th with the best lap of the race being a 20.7. 5th down goes to D Numbers, Apex, PG, Leslie, Pixels and Dorado to round out your top 10, with Alfie and Unko being 11th and 12th to round out your finishers. 5 people in there from that race, which were Hale, Sass, Harrison, Bornajoli and Amber right on lap 1. Very unfortunate for those 5, but a very good race up front and near the tail end of that race. A little bit of carnage sprinkled in throughout, as we tend to see at Monza. But that was one hell of a race. Hopefully we see such good racing continue throughout the season, and so many cars in contention.